morning, people of the internet. Welcome back to the Maverick Baking Kitchen and welcome back to another Krispy Kreme review. Yes. So we have two new flavours of filled donut and they also just kind of randomly released two new flavours of ring donut as well. I don't really know why, but I'm not going to complain about four new kinds of donuts, so let's get stuck in. So I popped down to my local Krispy Kreme stand. Unfortunately, they only had 3 of the 4 new flavours, but you know what? I'm fine with that. Let's eat some donuts. The first 2 flavours I'm going to try are going to be these filled donuts. So the first one, I really have a history on this channel of getting the ugliest donuts on the stand. It's like crushed, there's like hardly any glitter on it, but you know what? We can live with it. So if I remember correctly, this donut is known as the Stardust. So this is a chocolate iced donut with a very minimal amount of edible gold glitter on there, a little chocolate star, which thankfully is easily removed, and some kind of chocolate brownie batter filling, I think. Let's just bite into this new Stardust donut and see what's going on. I want to get a bite with a lot of filling. Let's try here. Of course, no filling. Let's try again. Found it. Honestly, the donut itself isn't particularly exciting. It's unglazed, so it is quite plain. The chocolate icing on top does give a kind of chocolatey flavour, but not very much. I feel like if this is some kind of epic new flavour, they could have added maybe some crunchy things on top for some texture or something like that. Sorry, I'm covered in chocolate now. I'll be honest, the bites that do have filling are pretty damn delicious. It's a real kind of chocolate cake flavour. I think the filling is supposed to be a brownie batter and they have done that quite well. You know that it doesn't just taste like chocolate. You can taste that there's other things going on in there to give it that kind of licking the chocolate cake mix bowl kind of flavour. I like it. To the point that I'm literally just picking this donut apart to get the filling now. So yeah, honestly, not the most exciting donut they've ever done, especially for one called Stardust. I don't really see why it's relevant other than the fact I had a chocolate star on top. Obviously it doesn't taste bad because at the end of the day it's still a donut with chocolate icing. It's never going to taste bad, but pretty bland, pretty boring texture wise. It's just all kind of soft. There's no crunch, there's no, you know, there's nothing that exciting about it, but the filling is very good. So I'm going to give the Krispy Kreme Stardust donut, or what's left of it, a 3 out of 5. Moving on to a new donut that I am quite excited about. This is the Berry White. I don't know if that's supposed to be a play on Barry White. This is another kind of unglazed but filled donut. So this has a white chocolate icing stuff on top. It also has freeze-dried raspberry bits, which I think are really pretty, and some white chocolate shavings, which makes the whole thing look a bit kind of fancy and premium, or more so than the kind of boring thing we just had. Now this is supposed to have a raspberry and white chocolate flavoured filling. I don't really know how they're going to do that, but I'm keen to find out. So let's give the Krispy Kreme Barry White donut a go. Okay. I see you, Barry. So when we bite in there, you can see that it is quite a thin layer of white chocolate on there, but it is definitely noticeable in taste. And you can see that there's some kind of white, I mean, there's no good way of saying that, is there? There's some kind of white creamy stuff on the inside. So the filling itself isn't a kind of raspberry white chocolate cream like I expected. There's a kind of raspberry or strawberry jam in there, and the white filling is just a sort of vanilla thing. Sweet, relatively creamy, and yeah, not necessarily white chocolate, but it's still pretty good. The outside, I really like the freeze-dried raspberries, add a nice kind of punchy raspberry flavour to it. They look good, they add a little bit of texture. There's enough white chocolate both in the icing and the shavings on top to give you that nice kind of sweet vanilla white chocolatiness as a nice bold flavour. It's pretty good. I'm happy with this donut. While it's not the most exciting Krispy Kreme donut I've ever had, it's certainly a great blend of flavours that they've done very well. There's a nice texture change. It's different to the other kind of flavours that they have on the counter just now. And it's also very pretty, which I'll score them some extra points for. So I'm gonna give the Krispy Kreme Barry White donut a 4 out of 5. Moving on to perhaps the most interesting new donut. Even though it doesn't look it, it's certainly something that Krispy Kreme have never really done before. So there are two kinds of these donuts. And these are ring donuts that are glazed but also filled. The dream, basically. As I said, the counter I went to only had one of these new flavours, and that is this Custard Brulee donut, or creme brulee to us cultured Europeans. You know, it doesn't look too exciting. It is just a glazed donut that looks like it's been kind of torched to brown the sugar on top a little bit. And this is supposed to have a custard filling. I don't know if that's going to be all the way throughout or at regular intervals. The other flavour that this filled glazed ring donut came in was another take on their Nutella donut. So it's a glazed ring donut with a Nutella filling. But I'm happy enough just to have this one. So let's give the Krispy Kreme glazed filled ring custard brulee donut a go. Can't really find the custard. Okay, so I think I've gotten to some custard. You can see just there's a tiny little amount of what looks like a vanilla bean custard coming through. Don't get me wrong, it's a great glazed donut, but I'm really struggling to pick up on any of that filling. Yeah, even with a mouthful of it, it's pretty hard to detect in flavour or texture. So yeah, I'll be honest, that's kind of disappointing. The donut itself obviously doesn't taste bad because it's a glazed donut. It's always gonna taste good. It's fried bread covered in sugar. So on that basis, it's fine. But when you're telling me that this is supposed to taste like creme brulee or like custard brulee, and I can't taste any custard, and there's not much of the brulee part going on either, I'm not sure it lives up to the mark. It could do with a little bit more browning on top just to give it some texture because it's just kind of soft and kind of syrupy. You know, it doesn't have any crunch to it really. There needs to be more filling. There is some in there, but when you're chewing the donut as a whole, you get more texture from the kind of syrupy glaze on the outside than you do from the vanilla filling. And you definitely don't get much in the way of vanilla flavour. All you can really taste is the sugar on the outside. The Nutella version might be better. You know, you might be able to pick up on the kind of Nutella flavour filling a bit more than this kind of very subtle vanilla one. But honestly, instead of splashing your money out on the kind of more expensive ones like these, I would genuinely recommend just getting their plain glazed donut instead. On the basis that this was something really exciting and it hasn't really lived up to it, I'm gonna give this Krispy Kreme glazed filled custard brulee ring donut a 3 out of 5. It is really good that Krispy Kreme are releasing new flavours so regularly because it does mean that even if you don't like one of the new flavours, you're almost bound to like one of the other ones. You know, they always have a great selection, whether it's their plain ones or their new ones. So you know what? You can't win them all. And let's be honest, the Barry White donut is worth picking up. If you guys have tried any of Krispy Kreme's new flavours that don't really have a theme but they're there, let me know if you like them and let me know if you think I'm being kind of too harsh in my judgment. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for more donut reviews, junk food reviews, recipes, vlogs. It's what I'm here for. In the meantime, that's all I have for you guys today. I've got to go to work. I will see you very soon.